Hey there, it's Heather here with Underwater Panther, and I've literally been interrupted again like 20,000 times. I got a phone call and lost a 20-minute video, so I'm starting all over. Alright, so this is the Scorpio or ENFP personality type video. I am combining astrology with psychology, and this is something that I have done on my own. So, where to begin? Alright, we're beginning with the 8th house. Okay, so the house represents dark, behind the scenes, secrets, behind closed doors, anything you're in the dark about, detective work, underground work, alternative motive house. It's the alternative motive house, not what the person is saying, so they do want to know what others value, and it's a transformative house, and it deals with power and control dynamics, as well as life, death, sex, and occult. So they don't want to be seen in what they do. They don't want anyone going deep within them to make them feel vulnerable. They are ruled by Mars, so Mars represents intent, will, power, desires, and passion. So they are very much so these things. They will probably do research on what you like and value. So Scorpios are very black and white in their thinking. They think the world is black and white, and as a Pisces Sun and Aquarius Mercury, I couldn't disagree more. There are so many gray areas, just saying. So anytime you try to cut off their passions, they will cut you off. So they are co-ruled by Pluto. Pluto represents transformation, power, and control. So it adds extra emphasis on everything 8th house. So they can really go through deep transformations of self. It deepens their passions, secrets potentially, desires, ulterior motives, power and control issues with self and others is also deepened. So Venus is at work. They may go too far with indulgences and tend to not compromise with others. They may go too deep in love and habits. They get fixated with these things, whether it's excitement or holding grudges. So they can go way too far with holding grudges and taking vengeance on people, regardless of how long it takes them to scheme to get someone back, they will. So Earth is away. Earth represents stability, growth, foundation, shape, form, and nourishment. So it's hard for them to create these things. They can't perceive reality very well, although they may claim to be a realist. This can be an issue. So they can tend to be dark people. It's hard for them to be practical and hard for them to care about those things. They care about the subconscious things more, so their own passions and motivations. It's hard for them to create foundation in their life, and if they find someone like this, they'll cling onto them too tight. The moon is in fall, and the moon represents reactions, and they truly repress emotions. Kitty cat running across the... Yeah. So the cat, thinks that the windows are his drive-through, and he likes to get canned cat food through his little drive-through window. Yeah. So anyways, most of the time they feel not relatable to other people. They have Venus away and the moon in fall, so most of the time they do try to connect with people, or they don't try to connect deeply with people, I'm sorry. They can be very secretive and private and off to themselves type of people. They don't want people up in their business and knowing what's going on. They naturally feel uncomfortable dealing with others' emotions and feelings. They are more reserved and conservative with emotions, more so than any of the other water signs. So Cancers and Pisces are the other water signs, Cancer being the youngest, Scorpio being like the middle child, and Pisces being the eldest. So Cancer and Pisces both have extroverted feeling, which means they are focused mainly on other people's feelings, and Scorpio, they are fixated on their own feelings. So they are a fixated personality type, and within the water, it is kind of like being a block of ice. So it's like they're water within water. They won't let other people in, and they tend to just, it's a colder type of feeling, like fire. They feel warm to other people. Scorpios can tend to feel cold and distant emotionally. So they like to take the internal things of life, so feelings, creativity, and subconscious types of things, and they like to soak in them fully. So they fully immerse themselves, and they stay down within those things far too long until they can't breathe and then explode back up. So they really repress their emotions and feelings, and that can activate SE demon, and they can tend to explode emotionally, wrathfully, ragefully. But it's also very powerful to get that deep into things. So they have a hero, and NE represents extroverted intuition, so they are an extroverted personality type. And NE, or extroverted intuition, represents metaphysics, pre-science, and all futures. And so they share that with ENTPs or Libras. So Libras and Scorpios can tend to know a lot of people socially, I believe, and they can tend to have good memories and be able to help other people see potentials, like opportunities, potentials of future scenarios, or even with Scorpio, potential of understanding how you can wheel and deal, like the value of things. And then they have a decision-making function next. So there's 4 parts to your ego. There's the hero, parent, child, and inferior cognitive functions within your ego or sun sign. So we have introverted feeling within the parent cognitive function. FI represents morals, individuals' beliefs, and they care what others think. So they are all about their own feelings and emotions, and that plays out as their own morals. They are not basing decisions on how other people feel. They base their decisions on what other people think. So it's groupthink, majority rules in the thinking realm. So extroverted thinking is in the child cognitive function. So TE represents rationale, more about researching and beliefs. And they share that with Leo. So Leos and Scorpios know how to put on a show, so to speak, and convince others how to believe in something. And then they have introverted sensing, or SI, inferior, and this can be where their weaknesses are or their potential insecurities or triggers. SI represents long-term memory, conviction, discipline, past, duty, honor, and loyalty. So those things can be an issue within a Scorpio or ENFP. They are informative. They are not direct in their communication style. They're informative, so they do like to beat around the bush, not be so direct, and that can kind of be where the manipulation comes into play. They are initiating, which means they are extroverted, and they are movement oriented, which means that they are always on the go. They always want to be starting new projects as a starter type. They love starting new things, researching new things, creating new things, meeting new people, going new places. They are idealistic, so the water signs are all idealistic. They're striving for the ideal or what's novel. They are abstract, so they are very good at abstracting ideas. They are not in the concrete reality with details. They're not stuck there. They can abstract in their mind, and with extroverted intuition, they can truly, it's like a buckshot, seeing many different possibilities and potentials. So they are very innovative and creative and genius within their minds. They are very smart. They are affiliative, so they do check in with the group when they are making decisions. They are not pragmatic, so they are not as independent. When they are making decisions, they will check in with their friends, partners, coworkers, etc. So they do crave status. Oh, they're interest-based. Interest-based? Are they really? Because if they are, that means that's what the wheeling and dealing. They are like the best salesmen out there. They can talk anyone into buying anything. They can talk up the value of stuff too and themselves. So that helps with understanding what they get out of things or other people. They crave to get status. They're trying to prevent society from being stupid and having more proper ideas and ways of thinking. They can be very high moralists. Their virtue is charity and their vice is depravity, so they can become ultra mega deprived and close themselves off, kind of like a scorpion crawling into a hole in the dark by itself. And if you try to like poke at it and ask them if they're okay, they're gonna swing you. So they do covert contracts a lot. I have noticed. That's like, it's not overt, so it's not direct and blunt in your face. They're informative, so they beat around the bush. And they try to hang you up in verbal contracts a lot, I have noticed. And it's like you don't even know what they are talking you into, and you agree to it, and you're not like serious about it, but they are. And then they'll bring that up, and they will say that you owe them. But you said, it's covert, it's under the radar, kind of manipulative. So they can be the most manipulative and selfish of all the types. They are all about the fine print. People may look at them like they're just novel. They're all about how they feel. They can be accused of being lethargic and making people wait on them. There is no better salesman out there. They're all about brand building or building up their own status and reputation. They can read into other people's thoughts well, so they have TEFI. So I have FI or FETI, and I'm very in tune with other people's like body language, and I can like if I ask you how you feel and you lie to me, I'm gonna pick that up immediately. Scorpio is the opposite. They're FITE, which means it's kind of the same thing as reading someone's body language emotionally, only it's like within thoughts. They can just kind of like read your thoughts based on how you're communicating. They need to be, they always have, they're good with contracts because they want to feel safe. They always have a legal, systematic way out. They read the fine print. They're all about the fine print. Being manipulative, getting you into a verbal contract that you had no idea they were being actually serious about. They need to be reminded about being ethical and empathetic because they can become the most charitable of all the types. They can be giving if they're not in their depravity. So they can tend to overthink things. They can get into politics and go all the way with that. They can anticipate behaviors easily, but they can be thrown off if you act in a weird way. It's like they'll have to go back into their scorpion lair and retreat to study. They can be more willing to invest. I think they can be high risk to a degree. It depends on how much they're into wheeling and dealing. I don't know. They are more willing to invest, whether that being, oh, I got something in my foot. Whether that is high risk or not, they do like to invest. So with it, extroverted intuition hero, they observe, it's like a buckshot, observing many different opportunities or probabilities. And so when you observe that many opportunities and probabilities, you're most likely going to make one of them happen. They see all the paths forward, and they can do that quickly, on demand, and they can strategize to make something happen. So any hero is all about what other people want. So they see all paths forward and go through scenarios for themselves and others so they can be good in management, for example, and be like, if you do this, this will happen, and no one else will see that potential reality. So they can be good problem solvers. So they are all about, with extroverted thinking child, they can be all about what people believe is true. So they're about beliefs. Beliefs is not necessarily about truth or false. TI, introverted thinking users, are more about what's true and false. They're not about beliefs. It's like a mirage. It's like pulling a blanket over your head. Like whatever you see, I'm going to create what you see, and it might not be what's behind the blanket. Beliefs is a slippery slope. So morality, they're all about morality. It is about how they feel. So they can be sympathetic to self, but not empathetic with others. So they do need to be reminded of this. They are very self-focused on themselves. So with SI inferior, it is all about their own comfort. It's like they believe that others should make them feel comfortable. So they are put here on this earth to make others uncomfortable because it's others people's jobs to make them feel comfortable. It's like they like to poke the bear, so to speak. Hey, hey, hey. And then it's like they dust other people off emotionally, or like just so others see different potential realities. It's very interesting. I haven't quite figured that out yet. But they can tend to very much so dislike reality. They want to burn the entire world to the ground with their SE demon, rage, wrath. It is chaotic evil. So it's kind of like Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker. So they can really want to see the world burn with that Earth and Fall and SE Demon. So SE Demon wants to provide permanent damage. Okay, so SE Demon thinks like guns are too quick. They want someone to not die quickly, but painfully. Slowly, if you know what I mean. Like the scorpion has the poison in its tail, and they will slowly poison you to death over time so that you suffer. That is their SE demon. Alright, so an unhealthy Scorpio or ENFP play ego defensive survival games when they feel insecure, criticized, or when their values are threatened. During this phase, they will try to repress their true feelings and will appear more logical and debative than usual. In an effort to prove their originality and uniqueness, they may embark on numerous different ideas, but struggle to bring any of them to completion. They will think of themselves as sensitive, but they will filter other people's statements through their own experience and likely misinterpret their intent or feelings. To people they don't understand, they will appear judgmental and self-righteous. So healthy Scorpios or ENTPs are aware not only of their own emotions, but the true emotions of others. They don't feel a need to prove their originality and are comfortable with being wrong or with letting people have opposing views. They learn from a variety of people and can be at peace with methods that differ from their own. Alrighty, so that's all I have for Scorpio or the ENFP. I have not written that book, but I have outlined it, so I did use some of my notes. And, yeah, my father is a Scorpio. I honestly think Scorpios are pretty rare. I have not known very many in my life, but I am engaged to one, so I love you. I'm just saying. We are very compatible, so they say. We're both water signs, we're both affiliative. I'm so appreciative of the affiliative personality types because I am too. I like to check in with people on ideas and plans and so on and so forth. So that's a big thing for me. Making decisions together rather than being independent. So, like a Gemini, for example, or the pragmatic fire and air types. Earth and water types are very compatible, and the affiliative definitely plays into that deeply. That's like my number one compatibility thing at this point in my study and experience. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe.